It was the bottom of the fifth quarter and the baskets were loaded. It was me versus the Boston Celtics basketball team. Ready to lose again? I said to LeJames Braun. He was sweaty and out of breath. Please give me another chance, he said sexily. It's basketball time, I yelled in a booming voice. Then I did a layup, which is different than slam dunking. It's where you throw the basketball in the hoop when you're really close to it. I was too quick for them. I was dribbling all over the field, and the Boston Celtics said, "Wow, she doesn't even double dribble," something I know about. Just then, Seth Curry did a humongous jump and tried to block me from the basketball hoop, but I threw the basketball so hard it went straight through his chest and into the hoop. But he was okay and didn't die. The basketball went in so good that I got 100 points and won the game. "Can we please be your boyfriends now?" said the Baltimore Celtics. "Sorry, that was a deal. You can only be my boyfriends if you beat me in a game of hoop ball," I said winkingly. Then they all cried. The end.
TBTL.
I don't know what this is, but Jay says it's a fucking big sea turtle.
I was just fixing to get me some grub. Beans. I love beans. Big, fat, hot, juicy beans. Now, don't get me going on beans, or I'll be jabbering away till the sun comes up.
Why would either one of you, why? Dear God, why?
Actually, you know what? I can email you. Or, you can email me at splet2@spletnet.net. Splet one's my father. I mean, I'll be sad to see him go, but it'll be nice to get my hands on that handle,
And I also think it wouldn't hurt you to talk to a therapist about your bathroom issues, because there's clearly something going on there.
Well, all right. Hello, good morning, and welcome everyone to a Thursday edition of TBTL, the show that just might be too beautiful to live.
Oh my God, he admitted it.
My name is Luke Burbank. I am your host.
I can't believe you're still on the air.
It's another beautiful summer day.
Oh, Ma, Pa, it's just beautiful.
It's warm, it's dry, the grass is dying. The only thing that's thriving are the dandelions. Why don't they make the grass out of the dandelions, right? That's just the kind of comedy stylings you can expect here on episode 4527 in a collector's series.
Let the fun begin.
It's a beautiful day. It's the perfect day to continue the project of cleaning out the TBTL voicemail line.
Clean as your mama's forehead.
And the guy to help me with it is sitting right over there. He is the longest running Cobra of the show, maybe best known for his depictions of the tall ships. We did a survey after the TBTL-a-thon just to kind of see how it went and also just check out where the listeners are at with things. And this was one of the main pieces of feedback we got regarding this guy.
They just want you to be normal, and clearly you're not.
He's Andrew Walsh, and he's joining me right now. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Luke. We are going to do our best. Listen, I want to be honest with you. I had a great time on yesterday's show.
Yes.
I think we really did some good work.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Really good work. But we listened to one voicemail.
Okay.
And we have so many voicemails to get through. This is about showcasing the listeners and all of their funny and endearing and lovely voices. And you and I are just talking about potty stuff all the time.
Well, first of all, life's a potty, wipe your body.
True.
Those
I can't argue with that. Obviously, I will cede that point.
Yes. I mean, that's one of the foundational sort of statements of this show.
Mm-hmm.
I believe also that the voicemail that we played yesterday was from listener Kate.
Yep.
Inviting anyone and everyone to come to the Green Lake Strength and Conditioning to use the bathroom there.
Anyone and everyone who considers themselves to be a 10.
That's right.
Or a Luke or an Andrew.
And there will be a quiz. So if you are somebody who doesn't know about TBTL and you want to use the bathroom there, be ready.
The bathroom code is Splooch the Turtle.
The bathroom code is the TBTL voicemail line.
That would be great.
Can you imagine someone just doing a jig, a dance because they have to go to the bathroom so bad?
And it's what is that? How many digits is it? Like 10? That's a 10-digit phone number?
All right, well then, Andrew, without further ado.
Okay.
Listen,
the Dunphy wheel.
I have an app that controls the prize wheel now. So I can just do this from my phone.
Oh, wow.
When
so
I
you didn't actually just get up?
I did not even get up and physically spin the prize wheel.
Oh, wow.
It's all part of the Nest app now. I can control the heat in my place. I can check the security cameras. I can order myself a pizza pie. And I can activate the wheel spin from here.
It's called the Internet of Anything.
Uh-huh.
By the way, before we get, I know that you're dying to get to the voicemails, but did you hear? I saw
the guy who said we didn't get to enough voicemails yesterday.
That was when you were talking.
Okay, gotcha.
This is me talking now.
It's a totally different situation.
Let's say I have a more vested interest in that. No, we don't have to go deep on this, but this maybe can be an ongoing. I'll give you some updates on this, but I am concerned, based upon a Bluesky post by our friend Chris Hayes, that you know how I got that Nest thermostat? It's like a very gently used one that my dad had in his home for a while, and then they replaced their system, and so he sent it to me.
Didn't you have to do some wiring with that?
I was going to try installing it myself, and then we ended up having somebody from somebody was already there checking on our furnace anyway, and while he was there, we said, would you mind installing this thing? And it's a good thing he did, because there were some complications apparently. But last winter, the second half of last winter, Vives and I were very psyched to suddenly be in the modern age again. We're very late adapters to things, and here I'm using my dad's used Nest thermostat, which you can control.
You're firmly
with your phone.
Retired father who's moved on to a new generation of the technology. And is now sending you the older technology.
My 80-year-old dad is sending me his old technology because he's staying up on these things. That's a true story, but also he takes care of things
By the way,
meticulously, so it's in great shape. It's like new. I'll just finish my point really quickly. Chris Hayes posted something from the Google website saying we're no longer going to support, or basically it sounded like, I'm trying to figure out if I'm just being paranoid. It sounds like they're bricking the thermostats. Now, I assume they would still work. You can't just brick a bunch of people's thermostats in the middle of winter, but I don't know if this is a fake news or not, or if I'm exaggerating it, but they might no longer work with the app or whatever. And you want to talk about, I think Chris said this is the most egregious or aggressive form of sort of
bricking,
and what is planned obsolescence? These companies, Google bought this company and then killed it.
Since Sonos,
exactly.
That's how I don't know if that's how that sentence ended, but it's how it should have ended, because they absolutely did that to me too, with a bunch of these Sonos speakers, which became effectively, useless and obsolescent. Now, can you, with the Nest control, you can also just turn the entire thing physically, right? If you wanted to go in in the traditional sense, just turn up the temperature, turn down the temperature in your home.
It's a gentle touch with your finger. You don't actually turn anything. You can go brr, brr.
But you can control it without the app if you had to, but it would ruin the fun.
I'm guessing that that's why I'm saying, I don't understand what the term brick means in this case, and I need to do some more research on this. I need to study it out.
That's all you could do, is study it out.
I think it would be highly illegal, although, people, billionaires and companies run by billionaires can do anything these days, but it seems like there would be some sort of consumer protection that would not allow you to turn off the thing that heats people's homes.
That heats people's homes from their phones.
Well, that's that's what I'm saying. That I'm assuming when we say brick, we just mean the remote technology,
yes.
But I don't know exactly what they're talking about.
Did you find yourself in the wintertime actually using the app?
All the time, because I spend my time in the basement a lot, or you wake up in the morning, it's a little chilly, and it's maybe hard to get out of bed. You turn up the heat a little bit. Yeah, I use the app all the time.
Okay. Well, good luck with that.
Did you spin the wheel already?
Well, hold on.
I hate to do that to the person who it landed on, but what's going on?
The app is trying to update.
Uh-oh.
My wheel spinning app. Hold on, let me physically go over to it.
Thank you.
God,
that's how we
what is this, 2024?
2000 and late.
Absolute bullshit. All right, hold on. Here we go. Manually spinning the prize wheel.
Oh, that looks better anyway. You gave it
some kind of as my friend Jessica once said, a pheasant.
What?
She was trying to joke about we got upgraded to some kind of a thing or whatever. She was trying to say, look at all those peasants, but she said, look at all those pheasants. So now that's our go-to for any time we're distinguishing ourselves as fancy folk.
So
right?
What does the wheel say?
Looks like it's saying Sally. If I'm looking at the right.
All right. I have a voicemail here from Sally. I'll be honest with you. I don't really know what this is about. So let's take a surprise. Let's take a listen to this.
Hey, dummies. I was listening to Bobblehead Talk, and me and my daughter...
Do you remember Bobblehead Talk?
Yes. I believe it had to do with you going... I think either you went to a Mariners game and we're going to get a... No, that's not true. Somebody you knew, it was Neil, was going to have duplicate bobbleheads, and was offering to get you one or something?
Genevieve won. Yes. So our buddy Neil went to the 3 games where they were giving away the Julio Rodriguez bat flip bobblehead, where the bat actually kind of flips around. And Genevieve wanted one, and Neil didn't know that, but he was texting me, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to 3 of these games. If I end up with 3 bobbleheads, do you want one?" And I said, "I do not," but Genevieve actually kind of surprisingly showed interest in that when she saw it on TV. So he kindly gave her one of his bobbleheads. Then Neil and I went to a game maybe a month later, and we both got Randy Arozarena bobbleheads.
It's a Rosarena.
And I gave him that one to Genevieve as well. In fact, maybe you want to weigh in on this, Luke. I think it's weird. She has them far apart. She has one on one end of sort of the shelf and the other on the other. I feel like they need to be together because they play left field and center field.
They need to also be close by so that they can confer on what the pitcher is throwing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like basically,
that's interesting.
I think
is there communication like that?
I think there is in the dugout often. Like, let's say that somebody's already. Let's say that J.P. Crawford, who often hits leadoff for the Mariners, has already faced a guy. When he goes back to the dugout, maybe let's say he struck out or hit a ground out. When he goes back to the dugout, if he noticed something interesting, he might tell the number 7 batter, or in fact any of the next batters, hey, he's doing this with his curveball, or he likes throwing this, or whatever. So another reason that I'm with you that Julio and Randy need to sort of be closer rather than further away.
That's how I feel. So anyway, maybe that was the tales that we were telling when Sally called in.
Hey, dummies. I was listening to Bobblehead Talk, and me and my daughter were at that Thursday game where they gave out the bobbleheads. And there was a gentleman sitting next to us, probably a little older than me. By the way, this is Sally in North Bend.
Hi, Sally.
And he was just making up names for all the players based on their names. So when Rivas came up, it was, hey, Rivy, hey, Rivacio. Or it was...
So wait, hold on. I'm going to clarify that. So Rivas came up, and so he was just sort of like doing
Leo Rivas.
That's right. Where's Rivas now?
DFA'd.
That's right. Okay.
Designated for assignment.
That's right.
Which means cut.
Basically cut. So anyway, so this guy's kind of doing that. What's that old SNL sketch where the guy would sit by the copy
copies.
The making copies.
Oh, by the way. Not to, on this fun week of listening to voicemails, get negative, but I had a truly jarring moment a while ago, which was some montage of things that were going on with, it was a larger news story, I think, about a certain conservative movement or whatever within, like, let's say MAGA. And they just it was like talking about influencers and people that are sort of have the ears of a lot of these real right-wing folks. And one of them was just Rob Schneider in a fedora, like, addressing CPAC, and it was offered without context. It wasn't, the story wasn't like, hey, the making copies guys is like he's like a right winger now. It was just like a montage of folks, and then one of them was just Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo, talking to people, and I don't know why that just was shocking to me, and not because I had any particular thoughts about Rob Schneider one way or another, but it did hit me funny. That anyway is the guy who used to say, Steve Areno, making copies.
Do you know that he's obsessed with cork?
Rob Schneider is.
Yes.
Like cork that you cork wine bottles with, or that you line your I don't know, some room in your house so you can thumbtack things up.
I believe the wine bottle version. Now this goes back a ways. I think I'm going to have to let Sally finish her voicemail,
let's do that.
And then I'll come back to this. But I want to see if I can find this video that we used to play back in New Hampshire, because it is interesting. Okay, Sally. I think I muted Sally accidentally. Sorry, Sally. You take it away. We're talking about Leo Rivas, and this old man is going, Rivas, or something.
For all the players based on their names. So when Rivas came up, it was, hey, Rivy, hey, Rivacio. Or it was Julio Yo-Yo. All kinds of weird names, including calling Randy Arozarena Randy Rice-A-Roni at one point.
That's very funny.
He wasn't doing it in a demeaning way or a bad way. It just felt like the world's longest dad joke. And then Jorge Polanco comes up to bat.
Oh, Rango?
And this man lets out in a very loud voice, "Let's go, sweet pea." Anyway, that's all I've got. Power out.
The world's longest dad joke could be a show title.
And also a way of describing TBTL. Randy Rice-A-Roni is
I like that.
phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
That's his new name. First of all, we've established I can't say his last name.
Mm-hmm.
I have trouble pronouncing his last name. And then also, I just think there's something about if you call him Randy Rice-A-Roni and he has trouble, it just sort of like, well, yeah, it's Randy Rice-A-Roni.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect too much from
What do you
Randy
expect? I mean,
Rice-A-Roni.
it's just Randy Rice-A-Roni. It helps me manage my expectations around a Rosarena.
I do feel though that he should play for the Giants though if he's going to be
San Francisco Treat.
San Francisco Treat.
Is Randy Rice-A-Roni is not also that's not on the line from a sort of a like acceptable standpoint.
Well, that's
is
where
that
you'd want to be careful.
Nickname?
Well, that's why Sally was careful to say that, like,
yes.
He wasn't doing it in an to offend. But I do understand that if
should we ask television's Chris Hayes, noted Italian American?
Oh,
because that's who I think would be able that's the folks that would be able to say, hey, no thanks.
Because Rice-A-Roni?
Rice-A-Roni is Italian coded to me, but why is that?
Why is I didn't get the Italian thing. Yeah.
What's Rob Schneider's take on Rice-A-Roni?
Okay, this is confusing, and I kind of regret bringing this up. But way back, this says it was posted 16 years ago, but I think it's older than this. I think this is from actually probably like 2004 or something like that. When people were, it was not the heyday, but
Andrew,
the sort of, what?
In 1890, Italian-born immigrant Domenico de Domenico, not the most creative parents, moved to California where he established a fresh produce store. That's the guy. He married Maria Ferrigno from Salerno. They're the family that made Rice-A-Roni.
So you feel like it could be like possibly offensive to Italians to refer to somebody as Rice-A-Roni?
I'm saying that would be, that to me would seem like the folks that I would want to ask permission from to call him Randy Rice-A-Roni.
Yeah, I think they'd be fine with it, honestly. But anyway, way back in 2004 when people were kind of discovering the concept of viral videos and then everybody was trying to go viral and creating these things, there is some sort of cork concern because more and more wine companies were not using traditional cork to cork their bottles. They started using those kind of plasticky ones and whatnot. And I believe that Rob Schneider was hired by whatever association represents real cork. And they had this idea to create something, and they created this video series where, like, for some reason, Rob Schneider is going around looking for some guy named Miguel. Okay. And it doesn't make sense. It's not cork forward at all, this viral video. But then at the end, you kind of, I think it's all like kind of some sort of rolling publicity for a big reveal that this is some sort of a use cork campaign. And I could play for you some of this Save Miguel. But what were you about to say?
I was stuck in a very long, very interminable conversation with a guy at a get-together recently who spent a significant amount of time explaining to me about his time where he was selling cork.
Really?
And I was, and I, I feel like even with sometimes the most uninspiring of conversational topics, I can find a way in usually to them in my mind and just kind of like, just ask questions and maybe find an interesting part of it. But it was impossible with this guy. But it was a lot of conversation about how he was a cork salesman. He sold cork. He basically worked probably for some part of this outfit that had hired Rob Schneider to get out there and try to find Miguel, a.k.a. the cork.
You know what? I am seeing here that, so this video that I was going to play is at least from 2008, if not earlier, but also on YouTube is something that was posted 4 days ago that says, Rob Schneider, the woke empire is collapsing. And you know what I've decided? I'm not going to listen to his voice right now. We have voicemails of listeners whom I love.
Thank you.
I'm not going to play the voice of somebody who says the woke empire is collapsing.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Do you still have that Ryan Cork ball that you thought?
I believed that for a second. You're going to spin the wheel? You're spinning the wheel.
Yeah, man. How about, look at that, Justin.
Okay, Justin. Now, here's the deal about this one.
Uh-oh.
I think this one needs a bit of a trigger warning. I think this is about... Yes, this is about bodily harm.
Oh.
It's not a dark story or anything. It's an observation by Justin from his time, if I recall, working in the kitchens.
Oh, sure.
And this might have also been related to that the splinter up my fingernail.
Yes.
We got a lot of voicemails about kind of bodily harm there. And I think Justin had an observation, but I do remember listening to this one and being like, do people want to hear about these kinds of injuries?
Yes.
I'm not sure. So if the answer is yes, we will play it. But I've given you enough time. You've heard me sort of vacillate here for a little bit. That's giving you time to maybe fast forward if you don't like to hear this kind of stuff. Justin, it's your turn to shine.
Hey, friendos. Justin from up and was just listening to Wednesday.
Did you like the way that Justin he didn't want to
So
give away
clever.
He didn't want to give away his assassination coordinates,
No, that's
so he
super clever.
He beeped himself.
Hey, friendos. Justin from up and was just listening to Wednesday's episode, and at the end of the episode, you guys were talking more about Andrew's finger, and a listener called in where she had cut her finger, and Luke was talking about that moment of time right before you cut yourself and how long and short that feels. And it kind of reminded me back when I worked in a kitchen how people were kind of divided up into two groups. We referred to it as Team Burn or Team Cut.
Yeah.
And you had people who were very scared of being cut. And it would make them queasy, and they didn't want to see other people getting cut, and they didn't want to talk about it. Those people usually were fine getting burned and wouldn't really mind burns, could get a pretty big burn and would be like, oh, hey, yeah, look at this burn, whatever. And then you'd have people on the other team who, getting cut all day long, didn't really bother them too much, besides the annoyance of the pain and the stinging and stuff. But would be so scared of a burn or wouldn't want to talk about it or see it. And, I always thought that was an interesting dichotomy. I was Team Burn. I could
100%.
hang all day with some fryer grease coming up and getting your arm and bubbling up and whatnot. But even just thinking about the potential for what could happen with knives in there, I just couldn't even think about it. It just, whatever. So. You guys made me think of that and hadn't thought about that in a while. Have a good day. Power out.
So, I don't...
Team Burn all the way, dude.
Team neither,
Well,
obviously.
yes, obviously, but if you had to...
I think I'm cut, believe it or not.
No.
I hate blood and everything, but I don't know if you heard it or if I was talking over, but Justin sort of described the kind of burns he's talking about where your skin does things. And when I think about that, and I think about how you have to treat a burn afterwards, again, I'm team neither. I want to stress that I do not need to jinx myself today. I'm going to avoid all sharp things for the rest of the week.
And all hot things.
And all hot things. But I sort of feel like by choosing team
even
cut,
gazpacho,
really,
because if you think...
Let me explain something to you.
Yes. Okay. What does he say? If you think it's going to be cold and it's room temperature, it burns your mouth. It burns your... What does he say?
It burns your whole body.
Yeah.
It burns your mouth. It burns your whole body. I think he says that. I could be getting that wrong. But anyway, when you think about how you have to treat a burn afterwards and the lasting effects of a burn, I actually think a cut, you kind of, especially at this, I hate seeing my own blood, but when I was a kid, cuts really freaked me out. Now I got to admit, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm using a very sharp knife, and so it's a clean cut, it's not something nasty, you know, I'm probably going to take the clean cut and then go, and then bandage it up and then let my body start, bandage it and let my body start stitching itself back together. Whereas I think about a burn and you can't even, you got to cover it to keep it clean, but then covering it sounds awful. I don't want to burn.
You're right that the aftercare on a burn, and also the actual, effect of having your skin burn can be really bad. And you're right, probably in a way worse than the cut. The problem is... I guess the thing of this is that if you choose team cut, it doesn't mean also then you just put your hand down on a cutting board and someone comes along and cuts your finger. You're saying if I have to choose the accidental thing that's going to come out of nowhere and surprise me, then I would choose one or the other. In other words, for me, what the cut thing seems so not. It's not the healing part. It's the moment where I'm feeling something passing through my skin seems so unpleasant. But I guess I wouldn't know it was about to happen.
Usually, it's you don't notice it when it happens. It's afterwards, right? Like the exact moment afterwards. I mean, but
I think I would, just to call back to our days in Wisconsin, I think I would choose 400 paper cuts over the burn.
Yeah,
lifetime.
That's right. Well, that's about how many you would get during a lifetime. So
let's do. Can we sneak one more?
Well, you have the wheel. I have no control
I do.
here.
Hold on.
Okay.
It cut me. That's my Tim Robinson impression, and it's not good. And are you kidding me? Sarah? It landed on Sarah?
It looks like Sarah in Maine.
That's what I had bet so much money that it would land on Sarah.
Now, I see here, and I'm not being coy, I do not remember what is in this voicemail. I listened to it at some point, and I have it tagged here as F word.
Uh-oh.
So am I going to have to beep this? I really don't know what's in here, but I guess if you have delicate ears, beware, because it looks like Sarah in Maine is about to shock us all.
Okay.
Hey, friendos. This is Sarah in Maine. Parents and the F word. So that just caused me to flash back to a
Okay, do you have an idea what parents and the F word means? Okay.
I have a bit of an idea. I wonder if it has to do with me talking about my dad, Walt.
Oh,
like
yes.
letting some profanities fly, which was
yes.
not the house I grew up in.
Yes.
I mean, this is a guy who likes to describe certain products that are hard to assemble as being quote unquote Chinese bullshit. Mm-hmm. And when the subject of the sitting president comes up, he'll sometimes, because he gets pretty worked up, he'll let an F word fly here or there. And how kind of weird it is to hear your dad talk that way when you grew up very much not talking that way in the household at all.
Yes. Now I totally remember that. And also, I think then you asked me, do I remember the first time I heard my dad say the F word? And the thing is, I said yes, and then I started to tell the story, and I realized that the story I was telling was not, I think, right or true or something. I was very embarrassed about it. But anyway, all right, we're going back to Sarah the shock jock here.
Hey, friendos. This is Sarah in Maine. Parents and the F word. So that just caused me to flash back to a time when I was 7 years old and on a walk, and I asked him what the F word meant. He told me. He really told me. And I remember just really wishing I had never asked, and also wishing that there was a hole in the earth that might just swallow me up in there, so that I could just leave it completely. Yeah. And also being confused because the explanation did not really make any sense, because, I had only heard it in the context of a swear. And it's confusing. It's still confusing, to be honest. But anyway, that's my that's that. We're out.
Wait a second. Sarah's still confused. Do we need to explain it again?
It does seem like a weird way to find out about the birds and bees.
Yes, it
does.
What I mean?
Because
it doesn't sound like the dad had to give that definition of it. It could have just been, well, it's a word that people say when they're angry or surprised, or when they cut and burn themselves with a knife that's on fire in the kitchen.
Or eat gazpacho that they think is going to be cold.
And you could just say, let me explain something to you. And you can sort of say, don't use that word. It's a crude word. And then later on have the conversation. I don't feel like in that situation, Sarah's dad needed to get into details.
That being said, I am guessing that it did ward Sarah off from using the word a lot.
Oh.
Because if you ask your parent, like, hey, what does this mean? And they go, oh, it's a bad word, you're not supposed to use it. You're like, whatever. If you ask your parent, hey, what does this mean? And they say something that absolutely rocks the foundation of your life about what adult humans are doing with each other. Because the first time you learn about that, no one's ever learned about the birds and the bees and been like, I would like to do that immediately. You learn about it and you go, that sounds horrific. Don't you think?
I'm still not entirely clear as to what it is, so I don't know. Luke, okay, that's a joke. I know a thing or two. No, but you know what I mean? Well, the thing is, and this is
I was horrified.
I don't remember. I know that my parents did not explain it to me. I know for a fact that one time when I was a little kid, I asked my mom where babies come from, and she pulled out these diagrams. No, she said she said you pray really hard.
Yes, that was literally what my parents told me.
Really? And that's just like, I really feel as an adult let down by that answer. Although maybe, listen, nobody likes awkward conversations,
Right.
and I certainly hate them. So maybe that was fine. She said you prayed very hard. I no longer believe that that's where babies come from. I remember kids talking about...
That is, by the way, the current official White House policy.
I know it.
They fired everybody who would not
did see
sign
that,
that
yes.
as the official way that babies
I
are made.
did see that. It's got that RFK seal on it. And then I remember in grade school, kids would talk about, and I'm going to use a word here that is very graphic, so another, I guess, trigger warning, but they would talk about humping.
Oh, sure.
And there's a lot of humping talk going on. I remember asking, I think somebody, I don't even think I asked, I remember kind of being in the I was going to say the men's room. It's not a men's room if you're like 8, I guess. But I remember being in there and two kids were talking about humping, and then one of them turned to me and said, you probably don't even know what humping is or something. I'm like, no, I don't know what humping is. And he said, it's when a boy and a girl roll around together. And I was like, okay, well, rolling around sounds fine.
Yeah.
And those are my two only like specific memories of being educated on this topic. And then everything else I just learned from watching the raunchiest videos I could find online.
Online?
Yeah, yes.
So in your mid-20s.
Oh.
Starting in your mid-20s.
Early 40s.
I remember my parents said the same thing, or my mom, said something like, I said, where do babies come from? She said, Jesus puts a baby in the mommy's tummy or something. And I just like...
Jesus gets around.
I bought that. I know. Really? Really, Jesus?
Yeah.
How'd you...
I mean, you're taking advantage of your kind of cult status there.
Then I walked around just, with believing that, no problem. And then I was friends with a kid named Aaron. He had a single mom.
Okay.
And I think she was probably like, a little bit less, well, certainly less churchy than we were. Her name was Monique. And I thought she was the most glamorous person I'd ever seen in my life. She had like a bottle blonde hair that was all blown out. She was, I think, a hairdresser. She drove some kind of a cool, fancy car. She smoked cigarettes. I was in love. And so, but he was a little more worldly than I was. And he said, I was like, hey, hey, I just found out where babies come from. God just puts them in the belly of the mom. He goes, no. He goes, my mom read me a book. And then he explains it to me in his very, we were probably both in kindergarten kind of way, but his was more correct.
How did he feel? Did he feel kind of embarrassed, or do you remember him being like, oh, my mom read me a book?
No, this is the thing. He didn't seem to have shame around it or to be embarrassed.
I still have shame around it.
Well, that's because our parents would not sit us down with a book and say, here's how it works. So then he explained it to me, and then I said, you're absolutely wrong. God puts a baby in the mommy's tummy, and that is the end of this conversation, Aaron. And I believed that up until my daughter was probably 6 or 7.
You were like, I don't remember praying for this.
No, I, in fact, may have prayed for this to not be the case at age 17.
Why, Jesus? Why?
Yeah.
All right, Luke, before we get out of here for the day, how about we celebrate some Blur's Day?
There's a right way to rock and a wrong way to roll. You can't just listen to your soul. Just remember that life is number one. You can be having so much fun. Just remember that life is much fun. You can be number one.
All right, we're going to do something a little bit different here today, Luke, and I don't know if you're going to like it, but I want you to not talk at all. No, Luke, do not say a word. I do not want you talking at all during this segment. I'm not trying to be rude here, by the way. I apologize if I'm coming off as a little harsh, but I need you to save your voice. We still have so many voicemails to go through. We have a big show to wrap up the week tomorrow, and then I think we'll probably still be going through some voicemails next week. So I need you in your freshest, top performance mode for the next few shows. So I don't want you straining any voice muscles, or don't even play any sound effects during today's Blur's Day segment if you don't mind, because again, I need you in top form for the rest of these shows. Okay, I know I can tell you that you're trying to jump in. Do not jump in here. I know that you're worried that people think you're not actually here for this segment, that I'm just doing it by myself, but that would be bonkers. That would be absolutely bonkers. Nobody thinks that. Don't worry. Everybody knows that you're here at work today, okay? And we're going to do the Blur's Day segment, but you're just going to kind of sit this one out, okay? And for the rest of you guys, if you are celebrating a Blur's Day or want to celebrate somebody else's Blur's Day, please email me, Andrew at tbtl.net, and put Blur's Day in the subject line and write a little note. That's what we do on a Blur's Day Thursday. Case says, Monday, August 11th is the birthday of the gorgeous 10, in both senses of the word, Molly. And I'd appreciate a birthday shout out from Case, a grateful 11, in only that one sense of the word. Well, I guess that makes sense. Happy Blur's Day, Molly. And if Case's message was a little bit too flirty for you, I do not know the status of your guys' relationship. So if that was a little bit too flirty for you, let us know and we'll have an internal review. Justice says, a very happy Blur's Day to my brother from another mother and #1 Billboard spotter Biagio in Duluth. That's right, Biagio was the very first photo we saw of the billboard with a 10 from Biagio. I think so. Biagio made that trek a few weeks ago. Justice says, you keep trying to be as old as me, but I keep winning. From your co-bro, Justice, in the Thunder Bay City. I really need to find out if that billboard is still up or not. I'm guessing that it might be down by now. Danny, I believe this is our friend Danny in Arizona, who says, I think in Arizona, who says, happiest of Blur's Days to Jackie, a great friend and Model 10. She's also a lawyer advocating for some of the most vulnerable folks tangled up in the system, the kids. Fun fact, I spent the first 3 to 4 years of our friendship not being sure if Justice was really Jackie's last name. I still wonder sometimes. Happy Blur's Day to my first IRL 10 friend. Oh, look at this from Corinne. Happy Blur's Day. Happy Golden Blur's Day to Katie from your Facebook friend and birthday buddy, Corinne. All right, so we got 2 Blur's Days at once here. I've enjoyed getting to know you on the Stens page this past year. You seem to be someone who brings much-needed light and positivity to this messed-up world. Hope you have an absolutely delightful day. That's from Katie, from birthday buddy Corinne. Oh, Cheryl in Corvallis says, thank you for being a 10 and a real-life friend. This is also for Corinne, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Corinne's getting 2 shout-outs today. This one's from Cheryl. Well, wait, hold on. I've messed this up, as I often do. It was Katie who was receiving the Blur's Day from Corinne. Corinne slyly mentioned that it's also her Blur's Day. Now, Cheryl is saying, hey, listen, is anybody out there giving a Blur's Day shout out to Corinne? I'll do it. And here's her message. Are we all clear now? Great. Glad we're all back on the same page. Cheryl in Corvallis says, thank you for being a 10 and a real-life friend. I treasure the time we spent at the Japanese Gardens in Portland, and I hope we get to hang out again in person soon. Happy Blur's Day, Corinne. To Josephine in Tooele, Utah, happy Golden Blur's Day, Mom. We can't wait to spend the day with you. We hope that next year is full of cats, books, chocolate, scrapbooking, and maybe a trip to Europe next summer? ? We love you very, very much. From Allie, Cassie, and Maddie. Happy Blur's Day, Josephine. Vernon does not want to be left out of this, though. Vernon says, happy Blur's Day to my wife, Josephine. May the next year be full of many happy experiences with our wonderful family. Hey, we just heard from that wonderful family. You are a great wife and mother. Okay. We got more Katie and Corinne action going on here. Now, Katie is saying, happy Blur's Day to myself. It's my Blur's Day today, but more importantly, it's also my fellow 10 Corinne's birthday. My goodness. There's a lot of people in the circle of birthday wishes today. In honor of our birthday, I want everybody, this is Katie talking here, not Corinne. This is Katie talking to all of us related to Corinne's birthday. We're all on board with this, right? Okay, we're all on the same page. Katie says, in honor of our birthday, I want everybody to avoid the news today. Go have fun, create something, dance, sing, laugh. Please take care of your mental health. Find some joy. Sending big hugs and love to all of you. That's really sweet. And finally, Angela says, Happy Blur's Day to Jess from ya nurse. I know it's been of a rough year for you, to say the least, but I wanted to wish you the best Blur's Day ever. Jess, if you have the BOGO coupon, I have the gift card for Big B, so let's go drink it down, my girl, and spill some tea, because I miss you to pieces. So let's see, we got a gift card and a BOGO coupon for Big B. Now, this is not the place for me to get into this, but it should be Bogoff. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one. We all know my rant on this, and I believe it's also Luke's rant on this. You buy one, you get one. That's the normal understanding of buying things. Hey, I bought one, I get one. If you want to make it a deal, you should buy one and then get one free. Bogoff. But those are the Blur's Days for today. And Luke, thank you so much for being quiet for all of that. I'm going to let you speak now. Let us get out of here. Can you wrap up the show here with me? We had a lot today. We covered a lot of ground today. We had some bodily injury talk. We had some birds and the bees talk. In fact, will you fill me in on some of the rest of that birds and the bees talk when we get off the air here?
Yeah.
Because I still have some questions.
I've got a whole kind of a series of writing and some photographs.
Okay.
That kind of like lay it all out.
You have some sketches?
I have some hand-drawn sketches that have been described as troubling.
There's that closing music
that I would love to. I'll send them your way.
I can't wait to see it.
All right.
Wait, you're holding one up. It looks like it's a picture of a bee. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that is cute. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, is that a bird?
That is right. And then I smash them. They roll around together. Okay. It looks like, anyway, if I'm keeping track of these things properly, and I'm usually the one that has to, we still have more voicemails.
Yeah, what's left on the wheel, you know?
So we're going to go ahead and get to some of them tomorrow. In the meantime, thank you for listening. Thanks for being part of TBTL. We will be back here tomorrow with more Imaginary Radio. In the meantime, have a great Thursday. Take care of yourselves, and please remember, no mountain too tall.
And good luck to all.
Hey, Luke and Andrew. This is Elizabeth in Seattle. I was just listening to an episode from a couple weeks ago when you were talking about Joe versus the volcano. And Andrew, as he was recounting the plot, his voice kind of trails off as he realizes that just kind of how preposterous his memory of the plot and all that stuff. And I had a similar reaction when I was trying to explain the plot of Bedknobs and Broomsticks to a former coworker who we were about the same age, but his parents were in the diplomatic corps, so he didn't live in the U.S. for most of his childhood. So he had zero context for any like 1980s pop culture or anything like that. And he didn't know like the old Disney movies like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. So I was explaining how Angela takes place like mid-century, and Angela Lansbury was a witch, but not a very good one until she gets an actual sort of magic talisman, and then they go off to this magical land, and then they come back, and then they have to fight Nazis, and that's when I had a similar realization of how utterly ridiculous and bizarre the plot point was of this Disney movie where Angela Lansbury had to fight Nazis in World War II. Using witchcraft. So anyway, I just thought that you might enjoy that story. Have a great day. Bye.
Power out.